title and quick summary at English for All Reasons Good based on the CBSE guidelines and syllabus. So, first, the summary of the poem. So, the main event in the poem that happens is the loss of the ball. And first of all, it signifies to the physical loss of the ball. So, child is sad, he becomes rigid, trembles, helpless, he is desperate. Loss of material things, that is the possession. So, the first significance of loss of ball, it points to the physical loss of the ball with all these things happening to the boy. And then the poet also tells us that money can replace things but not emotions attached to them. So when we are dealing with the physical loss, so money can buy or can replace the things that are lost but not emotions attached to them. So after that, the next stage that the poet deals with is that the boy gains maturity. So with the ball, he watched his young days into the harbor, steps into adulthood, he matures. So he cannot remain a child forever. So this is the second significance of loss of ball that the poet points to. So loss of innocence happens. Then after that, there's yet another deeper meaning. The boy becomes wiser. It is a metaphorical meaning. So balls also stand for close relations that you don't want to lose, but they will be taken away. So the boy here learns the epistemology of loss. So this is quick summary what happens and what the ball actually signify in the poem. So in all these cases one has to deal with loss bravely. Some are irreversible. What has gone will not come back, like in the poem, the ball, childhood's innocence and loved ones. So they are not going to come back. One should be strong enough to bear the reality of life. So, this is the quick summary. If you understand these three things, these are like layers. So, on the you can say surface, it is the physical loss of the ball. As you go a little deeper, so the boy talks about the loss of innocence. The child grows up, he learns what is loss and how to deal with it. And yet, there's another deeper meaning when the balls they also relate to your close relations. Now we move on to the central idea. So, the poet John Berryman describes the reaction of the boy over the loss of his ball. Though it seems to be a very insignificant thing to grieve, but the boy stands still and trembles at the realization that he will not get his ball back, with which he had spent some memorable days. It signifies the loss of his childhood days. So, with the physical loss, it also signifies the loss of his childhood days, which will not return. The days and memories attached to the ball will not come back. He also learns to be responsible for his things and that money cannot buy all things back. Through the loss of the ball, the boy learns the reality of loss. That is, he is going to lose things in this materialistic world, but he must learn to bear the loss boldly and move on. He will lose his loved ones also. So he must learn how to detach himself from the attachment developed with his possessions and loved ones. Life doesn't come to a standstill. So these last few lines they are very important where the poet actually wants the boy to learn how to detach. So this is a very painful process, but it is reality of life. So how to detach himself from the attachment developed with his possessions and loved ones. Life doesn't come to a standstill even when we lose someone dear or a very dear possession. Now comes the title. The ball of the boy in the poem, the ball poem, is around which the whole thought of the poem revolves. So throughout the poem, it is the ball. So the poem begins with the boy losing his ball and realizing that he cannot get that ball back. Even money cannot buy back the ball he has lost. With the ball, his younger days also go into the harbor. Once again, the loss of the ball makes him responsible. He learns that things will be lost. The boy is very attached to the ball, which can also be interpreted as closeness to a loved one in the family or a friend. So when the poet says people will take balls, balls will be lost always, little boy, The poet points towards the eternal truth that one day our loved ones will be taken away and no one can stop or change it. So the ball teaches the boy to be strong, to get over the loss and move on. Thus, the title is appropriate. So it is through the ball that the poet actually wants the boy to learn all these things. Hence, the title is appropriate. Now, sum and substance of the poem. So it can be the message also. Again, it can be the central idea, a different way to write it. If the question is of 1 mark, maybe, so then you can write this. Through a very insignificant event, the poet John Berryman very beautifully portrays how the boy evolves with the realization that loss is inevitable. So the boy evolves means the boy has grown up. One day he had to face this reality of life. So the poet actually standing there and looking at the boy, he is thinking that the boy actually had to learn this one day. So maybe today is that day. Though it is shocking for the boy that his innocence is replaced by maturity and he learns his responsibility towards his possessions, he must understand that he has to endure loss or loss in life. So, loss of possessions or the loved ones. And after that, he has to move on. He cannot stop there. Life for him is not going to come to a standstill. He has to move on in his life. Now the answer to the self-evaluation test. The first question, what does the boy lose and what is his state of mind on losing it? The boy loses his ball with which he has been playing. The boy is sad and gloomy at the loss of his ball. He is unable to think what to do as the poet also waits to see what the boy would do. The boy feels helpless as he cannot bring his ball back. Now, in case this question, it comes with the extract, with this extract, the first few lines of the poem that what is the boy now who has lost his ball? What is he to do? I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over. There it is in the water. Then you have to write this first paragraph. So, what does the boy lose? He loses the ball, and what is his state of mind? So, here, according to this extract, his state of mind is that he is unable to think what to do, as the poet also wants to see what the boy would do. What is he to do? So, the boy is sad and gloomy at the loss of ball, but he is unable to think. So, the boy feels helpless as he cannot bring his ball back. But in case the question, it comes as a 2 marks question, not based on the extract, then you can write what is given in the next stanza also. So then according to the whole poem actually you will be writing. So then you can add these lines also. He is stunned at the loss, he becomes rigid and trembles as an ultimate grief overcomes him. He continuously stares down the way where his ball has gone. So then these lines will also come. I hope you understand this. Now, next question. What is the significance of the repetition of the word what in the second line? The poet witnesses the boy losing his ball. He well knows how it feels to lose a thing, but he wants to see how the young boy would react to it. Thus, the repetition of the word what emphasizes the curiosity of the poet to know the boy's reaction. So, when he says, what is the boy now? So, in this line, it is what the boy is feeling, who has lost his ball. What is he to do is what he would do next, how he would react next. So that is why this repetition, it emphasizes that what would be the boy's reaction. So he wants to see how the young boy would react to it. Thus the repetition of the word what emphasizes the curiosity of the poet to know the boy's reaction. And obviously the other purpose of repetition is to provide rhythm in the poem. So that is it. The rhythm is also provided with this repetition. Then what does the poet want to emphasize by writing the word merrily twice in the first stanza? The bouncing of the ball has been described as merry by the poet. So the poet has captured two different moods here. The boy happily starts playing with the ball that bounces merrily, but bouncing in the same mood, it moves away from the boy down the street and then into the harbor. So the boy is playing happily, With the ball is bouncing merrily, but merrily bouncing, the ball goes away into the harbor. So as it merrily bounces away, it leaves the boy sad and helpless at his loss. So both they are happy initially and they are playing, but then suddenly the merry ball bounces away, leaving the boy sad. So as it merrily bounces away, it leaves the boy sad and helpless at his loss. Hence, the repetition of the word merrily beautifully creates a contrast between the merry ball and the gloomy boy. So, this is important. Why does the boy become rigid and why does he tremble? The boy becomes rigid at the loss of the ball because it comes as a sudden shock to him, something he has not imagined. He becomes rigid under the shock. Now, because of this, ultimate grief envelops him and he trembles, unaware of what to do. Next is, what does the poet signify in the line? All his young days into the harbour were. So it signifies the loss of boy's childhood and his innocence with the loss of his ball. The ball takes away with it the young days and memories of the boy attached to it. It also signifies that time once gone cannot be retrieved. This episode makes the boy mature. Now, why does the poet say, I would not intrude on him? The poet says that he would not interfere with the boy's thoughts and emotions. He doesn't want to explain to the boy that the ball was not worth much or console him by saying that he can buy another ball. He wants the boy to learn from his own experience that things do get lost in this world and one should bear the loss boldly. So he wants the boy to learn on his own. He wants the boy to learn the epistemology of loss. So he wants the boy to learn and experience this on his own. Now, what first responsibility does the poet talk about? The poet says that with the loss of the ball, the boy senses his first responsibility. It seems it is the first time when he realizes the pain of losing something dear to him. He learns to take care of his possessions and the things he loves. He also understands that loss is a part of life and he has to grow strong enough to bear the loss. So this is also the answer to the question if it comes that how do you come to know that boy has lost something for the first time? So this is what the phrase first responsibility tells us, and the first stanza also tells us when the boy is actually under a shock at the loss of the ball. So, as if he has never lost anything before. So, 2 points will come if a question comes that how do you know that he has lost something for the first time? Now, bring out the significance of the line people will take balls will be lost always. So here the poet wants the boy to learn that in this materialistic world he will lose his possessions. He wants the boy to know that he is not the only one in this world to lose something. People keep on accumulating things, but they are not going to be with them forever. It is the reality of life. He wants the boy to face the loss courageously as it is missing here, unavoidable not to lose anything in this world. So now here the poet actually wants the boy to understand that he is not the only one who has lost something. Everyone in this world lose things. So people, they accumulate things, they keep on buying possessions, but they lose them also. So people keep on accumulating things, but they are not going to be with them forever. It is the reality of life. So he wants the boy to face the loss courageously as it is unavoidable not to lose anything in this world. So therefore he says that balls will be lost always. People, they will continue to buy things. Balls here actually they are possessions. So they are balls symbolize possessions here. So they will buy things, but they are going to lose them also. Now next is why does the poet say it is worthless to offer money or another ball to the boy? As the loss of the ball, at the loss of the ball, the boy was stunned. He became rigid and trembled at his loss. The poet felt it won't be correct to interfere and console the boy by offering him money to buy another ball. The new ball would not bring with it the memories of long association between the boy at the ball. So this is the answer to the first one, why it will be worthless to tell him that, or tell him that he can buy another ball or to give him another ball, because that new ball is not going to bring with it the memories of long association between the boy and the ball. The poet also wanted the boy to learn the epistemology of loss. He wanted the boy to realize that loss is inevitable in this world. So, again, most of the things they are going to be repeating in the answers. So, if you know the summary as we did in the flow chart, then you can answer any question. Why can't the ball be bought back? So again, it is almost a similar answer. The ball here stands for material possessions and the attachment one develops with those possessions. So like the boy loses his ball, which can't be bought back because no other ball can replace the memories the boy had with that ball. So money cannot buy emotions. So the boy loses his ball, but that ball cannot be bought back because no other ball is going to have the same memories that the boy had with that lost ball. Now, what is the boy learning? The boy obviously is learning that loss is a part of life and one must face it boldly. One will lose things in this materialistic world and life has to move on. So, life will not stop. What is the epistemology talked about in the poem? Epistemology means knowledge. The poet conveys that with the loss of the ball, the boy is learning that loss is inevitable. He is gaining knowledge about the truth of loss. So, what is that truth? What it means to lose something and how to move on. So, the boy is learning this. The boy is gaining knowledge about what it means to lose something and how to move on. What is it that most know and others must know? So the poet says that most of the people they know that loss is inevitable and it is a part of life. He further adds that those who are not aware of this truth, they must understand this reality and learn to face the loss courageously. So most of the people they already know that loss is inevitable, and others who don't know, others means those who are still immature like this boy in the poem. So they should also be aware of it, or they should also understand this reality and learn to face loss courageously. Now, how can you say that the boy has lost something for the first time? This, as I have already discussed, so since the boy goes into ultimate grief and trembles at the loss, it shows that he has lost something for the first point, and also the poet talks about his first responsibility. Now, what do balls signify in the poem? Balls signify material possessions and also the innocence of the young boy, his childhood memories attached to it. In a still deeper sense, balls they refer to our loved ones, and one day everything will be lost. So they signify all these things. Explain in the world of possessions. In the world of possessions means that people value possessions in this world and they get attached to those possessions without knowing that they will lose those possessions one day. Also, money cannot buy everything that one loses. It cannot bring back the memories attached to it. So, this is a materialistic world where people keep on accumulating possessions. They become attached to those possessions without knowing that they're going to lose those possessions one day. And also, that money cannot bring back or buy back everything that they lose. Explain money is external. According to the poet, according to the poet, a lost thing can be replaced with another. One can buy a new thing with money, but money cannot buy the memories and the time spent with the lost object. So the poet actually wants to say that when you lose something, so you can buy or you can replace that thing with money. Money can buy that new thing, but money cannot buy the memories and the time spent with the object that you have lost. So, money cannot bring back emotions. Therefore, money is external. So, this is an important question. Why is the boy looking at the ball with desperate eyes? It is the boy's first experience of loss, so desperate eyes signify his helplessness. He feels helpless as he looks down the way his ball has gone. He doesn't know what to do. So, desperate eyes signify his helplessness. He doesn't know what to do as his ball is going away from him. So, he looks down the way the ball has gone. He doesn't know how to react, he doesn't know what to do. So, he is learning the epistemology of loss. Give an example of alliteration. So in this line we have alliteration and no one buys a ball back. So per sound is alliterating. And any other example of alliteration? So you can find that on your own. What is the poet suggesting by how to stand up? The poet wants to convey that loss in life is inevitable. He wants the boy to understand this. All our possessions, including our loved ones, cannot be with us forever. So we must learn to bear that loss and move on. We must not cling to the past and should be courageous enough to stand up and forge ahead in life. So, this is actually the message that the poet wants to give. We must learn to bear the loss and move on. We must not cling to the past and should be courageous enough to stand up and forge ahead in life. Now, a few bonus questions. So, you have to actually guess that which line tells us this, that the ball went away happily into the water. So which line in the poem tells us this? Merrily over, there it is in the water. Then profound sadness grips the boy. I hope you guessed already. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy. Then which line tells us that the boy has lost his childhood? All his young days into the harbor bear. So these kind of questions, these will be helpful in your MCQs or in your extracts. Now next is, it is not possible to buy a ball back. So and no one buys a ball back. This tells us that it is not possible to buy a ball back. And loss is inevitable. Balls will be lost always, little boy. And the boy's helplessness well behind his desperate eyes. So this portrays that how helpless the boy is feeling at that time. So hope you enjoyed it, and I want you to share this video with your friends so that everyone can gain knowledge from here. Do subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up, and check the playlist also, because other videos, most important video is the analytical paragraph, and there are letters of placing order and inquiry also, and solved CBSE question papers. So I hope that all this will be helpful to you and you are going to gain good marks in your exams. Also follow me on Instagram so that I can keep you updated with my latest videos. So bye for now.